coming up. This is 3M 4200 fast cure. For most things, unless you're dealing with 5200, this works pretty well. All right, Sam just sent me a text, so he's here. We're gonna go grab him. He's brought some tools. So what we're gonna be doing today is just
rebedding them.
Rebedding them. These two cleats are gonna hold the boat on the mooring this year, so I want to make sure they're good and tight. You feel it's good? You first tighten them up a little bit loose, and then you tighten them up a little bit tighter. I can't remember why, but that's what you do. Well, we are back in the storage facility today. Today's kind of an exciting day because it's going to be a reunion of the crew of Moondancer. Sam is actually coming down to help out with a few projects, which I'm super, super grateful for. It's going to be a ton of fun. In the previous winters, we have done just almost all of the work on the boat together, and I've done most of it so far by myself this year. So it's going to be fun for him to come down. We're going to work on a little project, mainly rebedding those bow cleats on the front of the boat, and we're going to go from there. So before he gets here, I'm just going to go get the ladder set up, and we're actually going to do a few unboxing things. So let's go get a ladder and get set up at the boat. Step 1, when you enter a dark building, find the light switch. I think we found it. All right, now time for the ladder. So this is 3M 4200 fast cure, and this is an adhesive caulk, which we will hopefully be using today. It's not as strong as 5200, which is like a really, really strong adhesive, but it does still have a little bit of that kind of glue power when you lay it down, in addition to the sealing power. So this is a really great caulk. Highly recommend. And this, I'm actually hoping we don't have to use today, because this is for debonding 5200, which is kind of the older or bigger sister to this marine caulk. And 5200 is essentially just a very, very, very strong adhesive caulk that basically glues whatever you are sealing up permanently to whatever you're sealing it to. And this is the only thing I've found that can undo it. I say we hopefully won't use this today because hopefully we won't come across any 5200 or have to use it, but I bought some more just in case. I went through a whole can of this for the last 2 years because the previous owner of this boat used a lot of 5200, which again is not something you really want to do. So we have this in case we run into any problems. We have this to recaulk the deck hardware with, and again, what we're going to be recaulking today when Sam gets here is this. I also got one more thing. I got a whole new set of stainless steel. This is the old one, but I got a whole new set of stainless steel bolts, nuts, washers, and lock washers. And I also leveled up the size of the washers we're going to be using underneath the deck. So originally, the size of the washers we were using to hold these cleats to the deck was on the other end. That was all that was really, in addition to the nut holding that cleat to the deck. So this, and then I upgraded a little bit to this, and I'm hoping what this is going to do is provide a little bit more support, not quite at the level you would see with a backing plate, but just a little bit more to really help add some added strength to holding these to the deck so they don't come undone like they did before. We might even, I'll run this by Sam because he's the engineer, but we might even use both of these. So if we kind of put them in a sequence like this one goes first against the fiberglass, the bigger one goes first against the fiberglass, and the little one behind it, I think that might even add a little bit more added strength. And then they would be go something like that. We'll have to see what Sam thinks about that, but I think that could work. So while I'm waiting for Sam to get here, what I'm going to do is, I do see that there's some dust and some old grime, maybe even some old 5200 on here. I'm just going to clean these up a little bit and get them ready so that together we can put them back on the boat. So one of the most important things, the reason I'm doing this, is when you're sealing something to anything, the way it really seals is if whatever you're bonding together, or sealing, whatever you're sealing together, is really clean. If it's not clean, little dirt particles get loose or something, that can create a path for water to go through that sealant. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just using a little bit of acetone, trying to do as to the best of my ability, scrub off any dirt that's on there with this wire brush. For most things, unless you're dealing with 5200, this works pretty well. All right, Sam just sent me a text, so he's here. We're gonna go grab him. He's brought some tools, so we're gonna bring those over to the boat and then get going on this project. Yo!
It's kind of breezy out today.
It is. We're inside. Got it.
Careful they don't flop out.
This is, do you remember when we were in LDing that first year?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot like that. The boats aren't quite as close together, but we still play the game of weaving in and out boats. What we're going to be doing today is just, you see these?
Rebedding them.
Rebedding them. And I think we have everything to do that. If we have time, that side of the deck is wet again. The stanchion should probably be rebedded.
That's just the thing that holds up the noodles.
Yeah, so we wouldn't rebed that today, but if we could just take it off, I think that would be a good step.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we get done. The question I have for you is, I got some new hardware, but I got two sets of washers. The size of washer that was on the boat originally was this size, right? I decided to upgrade a little bit and get something a little bit bigger because there's no backing plates. But then I thought, what if we put like the small washer underneath the big washer and put it up like that? Would that strengthen it? That's what we're gonna do. So Sam just confirmed his head is completely in the dark there. You're like a Sith Lord, man. But Sam just confirmed what we're gonna do to add some strength, because there's no backing plate for the back of these cleats, is we're going to add a larger washer and then a smaller washer beneath that, and then have the nut on the bottom there, and that should add a little bit of strength to hold these cleats onto the deck. Sam is going and getting his glasses, and then we are going to begin. That was him. So what do you think? Is this going to be one of those quick and easy ones, or is it going to take forever? So I'll go below, and then you want to go above deck?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Why didn't you get nylock nuts?
They weren't on there originally.
So?
I didn't think about it. With
Because
those...
that just adds one more layer of annoyance. Because when you're underneath there, you've got a bolt sticking out, and then you have to put one washer, two washer, a lock washer, and then the nut on there.
Would it be worth going to a hardware store 5 minutes away and picking up nylocks?
I'll give you 5 minutes of trying to do it down there, and if we can't do it by then we'll go to backup plan
Okay.
and just have fender washer and nylock nut, and that's it.
All right. Well, you heard it from him. We're going to try plan A, and then when plan A doesn't work, we'll try plan B.
But it sounds like you got them off, which means that it's not impossible.
Oh, it's not impossible. It just takes a while.
Okay, then we might not have as big of an issue.
Okay.
I just remember it wasn't fun monkeying around in the front there.
Well, it's a little bit, now that I know what I'm doing up there and kind of have figured some stuff out, it's not terrible.
Okay.
So I think we'll be okay. I'll go up and get situated. All right, so step one is we want to find the right socket.
I think it was 7/16.
I think that's exactly right. Step two is we want to find the socket wrench. I actually think this is the right one. Let's see. Oh man, I totally see why those nylocks would be nice. For this anyway. Alright, we'll try it. So I'm going to need to give you then the bolts, and then I'll have everything else. Okay. Let's start with the starboard side, Sam. Alright, Sam, I'm moving forward. Can you take out the aft bolt? Yeah, that's how we're gonna have to do it. Otherwise, I won't be able to get in there. All right, I think let's just go for it, Sam. So I'm putting on in sequence the two washers, and then behind that I'm gonna put on a lock washer, and then I'm gonna put on the nut. Let me know when you're ready. Have you put the goop on? I think yeah. Let's just go for it. So Sam is up there, and he's gonna actually put the sealant on, and then how I'm going to do it down here is I'm going to put on first this big washer, and then we're going to put on this littler washer, and then underneath that we're going to put a lock washer. Sam was talking about instead of putting on this lock washer, we should just get a nylock nut, which was a good idea, but I didn't think about it. And all of that has to be done in a space that's about this wide. My hand is about that wide. I'll actually just show you what I'm talking about. That is the space we're going to be working in. So, as you can see, there's not a ton of room up there, which makes this a fun project. So right now, Sam is squeezing the 4200 into place around the hole. And then after he does that, he's going to put in the forward bolt. And I'm going to go in with our equipment here. And then he's going to put in the aft bolt, and I'm going to go in and loosely put in the hardware on the back for the aft bolt. Ready? Okay. I'm going to have to steal our light. Oh no! One lock washer is gone. Shit. Okay, that was fun. All right, man. Heck yeah. One is loosely on. That's loosely on enough. Let's put on the aft starboard. Still working on it. No. Lost another walk washer. Really close. Oh, man. That is really close. Oh, shit. God! Man, I'm losing them. Oh. Damn it, man. It's like I need them to be stuck or something. If we had some kind of glue or temporary adhesive we could use, that would be just, I feel like, ideal. Okay, we're threading on. All right, we're loosely on both now. We got it, we got it, we got it. I'm gonna start forward, okay? Okay, I should be on it. You think that's tight enough? It's gonna hold the boat on the mooring this year. These two cleats are gonna hold the boat on the mooring this year. So I wanna make sure they're good and tight. You feel it's good? Okay. Okay, go ahead then on the aft. Forward in. Aft again. Okay. 1 second. Okay, we're in for aft. We're just going back and tightening these up. You first tighten them up a little bit loose, and then you tighten them up a little bit tighter. I can't remember why, but that's what you do. We good? We just got one side done. Let's go up and take a look.
Wipe once and then throw it away, and then wipe another one and throw it away. So you make sure it doesn't get any of the crap anywhere else.
So what Sam has done is he's taken a bunch of paper towels and he's cut them into almost cards, which he's using to clean up the caulk around the forward cleat.
I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but it might work. Might not. So that one's done. Get another one.
The good news is the caulk is white, and the boat is white too. So Sam and I lost enough lock washers, or I lost enough lock washers, that we have to go to the hardware store and get some more. And instead of getting lock washers, I'm just gonna put my bag in this car. Instead of getting more lock washers, we're going to get nylocks. That way, we don't have to worry about putting so many things on.
Get 2 for the new one, 2 for the old one, and 2 to replace the ones that you drop off into the abyss.
Okay. Should we get an extra one just for good measure then?
All these ones are for good measure.
I don't even know where that came from. I think we can get in back through this way.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna go down below now. I've got to take off the vent hose for the holding tank to get access to the bolts that go through the deck. And so yeah, I'm gonna do that, and Sam's gonna have a beer. All right, so I'm gonna take off the vent hose right here, which I'll turn the camera around to show you. That has to be taken off to gain access to the bolt holes so we can bolt the thing back on. Well, that's done. Round 2. So this time, instead of using a lock washer, we are going to be using our double washers again for added strength. But then instead of using the lock washer, we're going to be using a lock nut, which is just a nylock. So this is a nut with some nylon in the center that helps just lock the bolt to the nut so it doesn't move around too much. Sam, tell me when you're in position. Forward first, yep. You're in position? All right. I'm moving forward. We're gonna go left-handed on this. Well, there goes one. Oh, Sam, I think I'm only gonna get one washer on. Okay, going for number 2. Oh, shit. Let me know when that other bolt is through. Okay. Whew. So on the forward bolt, I was only able to get one washer on. We're trying to do 2, so it's a little bit thicker because this is the piece that's pushing against the deck. But I just forward, I was not able to get my hands in position to be able to get 2 on. So, but I did get one washer on, and this washer is bigger than the last one that was on there. So hopefully it will make a difference. All right, I'm gonna go for it. Okay. Shit. I'm... Okay. All right, we're on. Okay. So you're gonna have to do a lot of twisting because these are nylocks, right? All right. Oh, all right. Let's go in one more time. Okay, going in with the socket now. Let's do forward, or let's actually do aft first, okay? All right, it's all you.
Good work under there.
Thank you. Good work up here.
I just sent you pondering.
This is that precision work, man.
Sure.
Okay, so the other thing we're gonna do today is this stanchion right here. That one. We think is leaking, and it's causing this part of the deck to be a little moist, a little wet, according to a moisture meter. And so what we're going to do is just take off these lifelines and then take off this stanchion to be rebedded and recocked. If we were going to do this right and actually... Oh, that was pretty quick. Sam already has the lifeline off. If we were going to do this right, we'd probably open it up and take out all the wet coring, but this is actually not a balsa cord boat. This is a plywood cord boat, so that core does retain some strength even when wet. And we also know from hammering on it, from a marine surveyor, banging on it, that the core, even though it's wet, still sounds like it's in pretty good shape. So we're just going to take off the stanchion and take off the lifelines and rebed it with some good caulk. And then hopefully that keeps the problem from getting worse, or at least that's the idea. Sam, I actually think that, how sometimes we see water in that cubby back there?
Yeah.
I think this might be what's causing it. It's the only thing on deck where it looks like someone went above it and tried to caulk it from above.
Uh-huh.
And it's right in the area where we're seeing water. Oh, too easy.
Beautiful.
This is where we gotta be so careful. Are you able to pull that out at all, Sam? It feels like it's getting pretty loose. Is it moving up and down at all? All right, I'm gonna try it with my hand. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's almost off. There is the nut. All right, the nuts are off. This is definitely 5200. All right. Cool, they're off. So we think that this stanchion was put on with 5200. I'm being really careful here because I'm close to the edge of the boat. So now we're gonna just spray a little bit of this Marine Formula D-Bond on it, wait about 5 minutes and try and hammer this thing out. So I just came down here to hammer on the bottom of those screws, but after we put the D-Bond on the back of that stanchion, Sam has actually been able to unscrew these bolts from above. So now I'm gonna go back above and we'll get some of this on film. Is it working, Sam?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing stuff. We got it off, the stanchion has been removed, and now it just has to be cleaned. But this was definitely the area in the boat that was leaking and letting water down into the boat and also into the core. I thought that it was okay because previously I've actually tested this. So I dumped a bunch of water out on the deck. I checked this stanchion for leaks and I didn't see anything. But I think the leak was just slow enough.
Or it could have just been going into the core as opposed to into the rest of
the boat.
Yeah.
That. But now we got the stanchion off and definitely was leaking. So we just have to clean it up, cover it up. Hopefully the core stays a little bit drier and dries out over time. If it doesn't get worse, then we won't have to do a core replacement. If it does, then we probably will. So we'll check it again next season, go from there. So we are all done for the day. How do you think it went?
Smoother than I thought it would. Nothing ever goes smooth, so
That's
this one
true.
went pretty well.
True. Ugh. Gotta just kick the door now. So went smoother than we thought. Today we got the stanchion taken off and those two bow cleats rebedded on the front of the boat, on the bow of the boat, the right way. So that's a pretty good day. Whenever you can get two things done in one day, that's like paradise right there. So now we're gonna go get some lunch, or go pick up some lunch, and call it a day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you next time. Right, Sam just reminded me, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.